right. Denise asks, question from an old lady. You're not old, Denise. How in the world do you see the holes in the 11-aught beads? Well, binocular vision is a good way to go. They make magnifiers you can put on your face, hook up here. They also have the ones that drop down that you can look down. Me, I just flip my glasses off and go at it. Yeah, I get a lot of neck pain from that. But that's basically it. All right, Katia, that's the way to go. Joe, the pattern is in the email I sent out. This is what it looks like. This is the pattern. This one right here is the one we're going to do for homework. Trust me, Denise, if you've got beads, you'll find a way to get them on there. Now, there is looking to be probably about a 1-minute delay so far. So, I will take my time today because of the delay. Can't help it. Internet has been sluggish since Facebook got slammed and everybody got slammed. All right, Joe. Joe, you got your pattern. Hey, Tasia. We got a good group going here today. It's going to be a fun class. By the way, I'm working on everybody's bags. I'm hoping to start shipping by Monday. So, it's whoever gets done first goes out. But I got them all cut out. They all got the interfacing in them. And I'm working on them. Hi, Jill. So anybody got any questions from last week? Monday, the post office is closed. Why? Hello, grandson. You're going to make a designer one day. You're starting out young enough. Why is the post office closed Monday, Laurel? Crickets? Is that the reason the post office is closed? Mad dash for crickets, huh? Columbus Day? I hadn't heard that ours was closed for Columbus Day, but ours is, I honestly think they are all on drugs, Sometimes I get my mail and sometimes I get everybody else's mail. I'm a better mail delivery person than the mail lady. Let me tell you. I get everybody's mail and then I make the rounds. We go to pick up packages from them and I bring back everybody else's package. Never mind. Mine get left at the post office. So I deliver everybody's packages and go back and get mine. Yeah, our mail service is just the pits. Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? Let's give it a few more minutes and let everybody get settled in. Right, Phyllis, right. Couldn't agree with you more. Exactly. They, that's what I say. I get everybody else's mail. I get even people's mail that don't live here. Hi, Maria. Big class today. Laurel, I'm going to let you moderate for me when I go into the down shot because I won't have chat available, if you don't mind, so you can catch questions. But when I come up, I will ask for questions. So, because I know y'all have a book written of questions. I just know that. Because when I first started working with beads, I mean, I was one big question, you know. It was like I'd hit you with 10 at a time. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. To answer all those little teeny questions. And remember, no question is a dumb question. Because just because you thought it doesn't mean 10 other people didn't think about it. So don't be shy. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? That's fine, Denise. We will answer them. Let's give it a couple of more minutes. And then I'll start off with some announcements it's exciting news. Okay? I have been a busy lady. Hi, Allison. How you doing? So glad you made it. Hi, Fred. Everybody, Guns and Unicorns, or however you say that. That is Fred. Nope, nope, nope. Don't load your beads on the thread. I'm going to show you how to load your beads on the thread. The dogs are doing great. Growing like weeds, but they're doing great. And they're both spoiled rotten, so the world's nice. It depends on the tatter, Jackie. Jackie's question, when making a piece with rounds, is it common to tie off each round and reattach? Not necessarily. It's up to the tatter. If you are tatting for display, for a craft fair where you're going to be judged on it, or even for the exams, you need to know how to hide your ends. But for personal use, tie it off, put a dab of glue on it, and go for it. Girl Scout unicorn snoring. I like that. No sleeping at your house. All right, Fred, we got it. All right, looks like we got a full crew. Joy, how are you? You made it just in time. All right, first off, are you ready? All right, Katia, that is awesome. Let me get through these announcements because you all are going to love them. All right, over the weekend, we found out the problem with the website. And Sue, I love her. I mean, she's a wonderful person, but she couldn't keep up with the current website, Georgia's. But it's running an old system. And it's going to cost a little too much to change over to the new system. So we are going to move the site to another platform, okay, that is within more reason. It also gives us more storage space. It has opportunities available. So we've been working on the new website. Now, the new website will not be named after Georgia. Georgia's site will still stay in existence, but it will soon die off. The new site will be named the Online Tatting Classes. As soon as it goes live, which should be in a couple of weeks, I will send an email out to everyone announcing the new web address. We are also going to forward anyone that comes in on the old Georgia site's website over to the new website. Georgia has asked to retire completely, and that we're giving her her wish. But the site is built with her honor. All right? So, that's the first good news. Hi, Bev. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Arlene. The second good news, we now have a PayPal account. If you all would like to donate, and we are not asking for donations, but for those of you that would like to donate, we have a PayPal account. The PayPal account will go live tomorrow, and it's the online tatting class is where you're going to send it to. Yes, we are still going to be on YouTube. So, what have we got? We have the YouTube classes. We have a new website. It should go live in a couple of weeks. We also have a PayPal account. We're growing by leaps and bounds. We couldn't do all of this if it wasn't for all of you. Okay? So remember that. You make this class the best. So with that, let's get on with today's lesson. Now, first and foremost, we're going to share a file that you can get off of Georgia's site that will explain how anchors came about. So let me get that, and I will share it in the chat window. Yes, the online tatting class, spelled out. Yes, spelled out on PayPal. It will be live tomorrow. Yes, it will. It's just you're going to have to give us time. There's a lot of broken links, and we're converting all the information into PDFs to make it easier for you to just print out what you need out of the PDF. All right? That's my sewing machine. If it wasn't for that thing, y'all wouldn't be getting bags. So, this link here explains anchors and how it came about. It was created. Let me read this off to you real quick. It was created stating by 5 people, okay? There are 5 names involved in anchors. And let me get that other link that I have as well that I want you all to look at. get that posted in here. All right. Now, there is 5 people, and they're all family members, okay? And Rena Stepiana, I believe that's how you say her name. Excuse me if I mutilated it, okay? But her and her family members created Ankars in Russia, and that's where this started. But before you can step into Ankars, you need to know how to place your beads on a shuttle or a needle in order to use it and tap with it. Larger beads you really don't want on your shuttle. Trust me, them big old beads, you don't want them on your shuttle. Those are hand sewed in specific spots. So those give the backbone to your Ankars piece. Those bigger beads, and they draw the eye in to the technical work. These 2 printouts that I have sent to you explains a lot about Ankars. Nina does a form of Ankars called binales or binales. I am not sure how to pronounce that. Okay, like I said, vocabulary is my second language. My first language is Mangle. So we just have to live with it, okay? But they coincide. I don't know if any of you all have seen Nina's work, but her beads are placed on there and they look like tatting, the way that she does her necklaces and earrings and bracelets that she makes. And they are stunning. Okay? There are costume designers begging for tatters that can do Ankars. So yes, you can make a profession out of this, especially for costumes, for different movies. Okay? And they want traditional work on the clothing. So they hire people to do this. All right? So that gives you a foothold on how broad the horizon is if you learn how to put beads in your tatting. So, with that said, did everyone get this printed out? This is our pattern for homework. Y'all will need this because you're going to tat this pattern for your homework. Yes, Nina, it's Lilbin. She does binales. I can agree with you, Arlene. It's gibberish. Yes, that's why we can talk when we go to tat days. We both speak the same language. Okay? Now, I sent out 2 printouts for you guys. This one explains a lot how you come to this. All right? But let me tell you a little bit about this author. Her name is Karina Mayfeld. Back years ago, she was really into Ankars. Go to her website. She is a wealth of knowledge. She took the Ankars courses from Rena, just as I did. Okay? So she has information there. Now, in some of it, she speaks broken English, but the basics is there. Follow her guide. She has some beautiful pieces. But what has happened, one of her patterns that she had up in her Etsy shop, and it's called the Wave. I've shared the picture of her earrings. That is an entire set. There was earrings, a necklace, and a bracelet. Somehow, the copyright violators got this pattern and put it on the web. And it discouraged her because that was her financial means, because she is a single parent now. She lost her husband, and that was her income. So she got discouraged from tatting, and she hasn't posted anything new on her site since 2017. And that's what happens to a lot of designers. Our goal is bring Karina back, because this woman knows cars. Okay? She is a wonderful, wonderful person. We contacted her. She gave us rights to use anything on her site for these classes. She used to be a huge contributor to the classes. So this is why we stress that copyright. Don't take away from others. You could be hurting their livelihood. Don't steal patterns. Okay? Respect those people. Because now she's working in a department store. She's not getting to do what she loves. All because of a solid thief. And that's what I call them. When you take something that doesn't belong to you and you put it out there and you try to make money off of it without the designer's consent and claim it as your own, that is no more than a thief. Might as well go rob a bank. That is my philosophy. So yes, I do protect those designers because I know them. It's Karina Mayfeld. It's listed on your printout down here. Once you get there, cruise. There's about 10 years worth of knowledge on there. All right? So, let's go to our down shot so I can show you all the goodies I've got. All right? Let me get there. And I have a little friend with me. My little minions. I have several of these. They're squishy. Let me show you. They squish. When I'm thinking, they get a workout. But he's got the eyes for it. He's saying, ooh, look, beads. So, y'all had your good laugh. My little minion was there. Yeah, they sit on my desk. And they're just lazy. They don't do nothing. So, this is the pattern for today. Let me bring you down just a little bit closer. All right? Let me get you in the shot. Now, this is not a perfectly tatted piece. This was a beginner's Ankars piece for me. Okay? This piece here is probably 10 years old. It is tatted using tough cord. And as you can see, there's no sheen to it. Tough cord, like Eslon, has no sheen. Okay? So, this is what it's going to look like when you do yours. Let me get it over here center. That is basically what this piece that is on the pattern will look like. Hopefully better than this one. So, when you look at this, you see there's 4 beads. You see there's beads in between. Okay? Now, this bead in the center is not part of that. I added that in. That bead is sewn in. Okay? What I did was I took my tails and I left them long enough so I could sew in this center bead. But in actuality, in your smaller threads, this is about the size of a quarter. And you put an earring, a post earring in the center. And you wear it as your earrings. Then you can interchange it if it's different colors. Now, what beads do we sew in? Let me go back out just a hair. You see these big beads? Bead mat. See? Why I love the sticky bead mat. It's sideways. Can't get rid of them beads. Now, you see how big these beads are? Those are beads that if you try to put them on your shuttle, it is going to spring that shuttle. Once the shuttle blades are sprung, I don't care what kind of thread you put on it, it's just going to flip off when you drop your shuttle. So, you have a choice. Chase the shuttle and thread, or chase the ball of thread. Either way, same difference. The thread's coming off. So do not put these larger beads on a shuttle. You want to stick with these size beads right here. As you can see, that's a tiny bead, isn't it? This one's a little bit bigger. This one here is a 6 millimeter. This is an 11/0. You see the difference? These are getting up into your 10, 12, and 15 millimeter beads. Okay? When you step out of 0 and you go into millimeter, you're talking these bigger beads here. Alright? You'll also see these little clips. Can y'all see that? They are a coilless safety pin. They're called bulb pins. You can buy a box of them, every color. But these are good for placeholders because they don't come off. You can also use a paper clip to place hold where you're going to join to when you've got a bead on a picot, which is on this piece, these 3 beads. They are on the picot. Can you tell they're on the picot? No, because you put in a placeholder so you could connect at these joins. Okay? So, that said, let me show you a couple of things here. Now, as you can see, I have a bobbin shuttle. I have this clear shuttle here. This one is Shuttle by Design. These are the closest things to the same shuttles that they use in the Ankars class. You see the wide girth you've got? That is so you can accommodate beads. On this, you see how tight that is? These beads will be in your way constantly with a bobbin shuttle. You can use a bobbin shuttle. I'm not saying you don't. But if you do, remember these beads are hard to keep tabs on. They do get away from you. On a regular post shuttle, be careful. If you're using Ceylon thread, it's smooth, okay? When you use your conditioner on it, it smooths it even more. But when you get into metallic threads, if it's not a good metallic thread, you're going to chip away at your shuttle. Plastic or wood, it will chip away. And over time, it will wear those blades down. But on the plus side, once it's wore to the size of the thread, it won't go anymore. And it'll still hold that thread. But you come in with a fine cotton thread, it's not going to stay on that shuttle. But your heavier acrylic shuttles don't break down like plastic and wood. Does everybody understand that? Let me go to this. Let me get the questions and answers up. Anybody got any questions at this point? Hi, Barb. How you doing? Hi, Bernice. Hi, Nanetta. So, any questions so far? Beads, shuttle, what we're doing? Any of the above? All right, Stacy, what's your question? All right, you want to see the big tatsy shuttles? Okay, the clear shuttles I'm talking about come from Shuttles by Design. Rita Richmond owns that shop, and she has some beautiful shuttles. I mean, it's eye candy, serious eye candy. No, because they're acrylic, Arlene. These shuttles here from Shuttles by Design are acrylic. They are not plastic. Acrylic doesn't wear down. Huge, huge difference. Plastic wears down. Acrylic won't. The reason is this acrylic is the same kind of acrylic they use in plexiglass. They make fish aquariums with them. Okay? They use it for window glass. All right, Stacy, that's fine. So she has a shop, and she's got very, very many colors. She's got some that's got pretty designs on them, too. Get her to paint you one. My God, she's a beautiful artist. Let me tell you. So, my advice is get your hands on some of these if you're going to work with beads, because you can't wear the acrylic down. Okay? Now, she also has regular shuttles that are acrylic, that have the pick that comes out the end, like the moon lids. Those are really nice shuttles as well. Now, somebody was asking about taxi shuttles. Let me see if I've got one in my shuttle box. Yeah, this is my shuttle box, everybody. Shuttle hoard much? Let's see, it's not in that one. Maybe in this one. Okay. Y'all want to see a taxi? This is a taxi shuttle. This is the Shuttle by Design. See the difference? Huge. All right. So, here's the Clover shuttles in comparison. Okay. These are great for size 3 thread and up. All right. So, there you go. That is the huge, huge difference. No, I'm not going to pull the shuttles out. We're talking about beads. So, let's get that thought out of our little minds. Any other questions? Oh, Tasia, a true tatter has at least 40. I'm just wondering. Tatsies, you can get them at Handy Hands. There'll be a link for Handy Hands below the video. I will also post a link to Shuttle by Design. Yeah, Laces has them. eBay has them. All right. So, any more questions? You got about 3 seconds, and then I'm going down. All right. Let's switch down. Now, your question is, how do you wind a shuttle with beads? Well, as you can see, as I pull this off, how much thread did I just pull off? Quite a bit. As you can see, a lot of thread. Reason being, when you're working with beads, you want to keep them on the shuttle unless you put them in your loom. or you're going to put them on the core thread, which I will show you. This bottom bead here, right there, that bead is on the core thread of this ring. Now, how did I get that bead on the core thread? I'm going to show you today. First of all, when beading, string in your beads. Now, these tiny beads, they're great on the bead mat, but if you've got to string a lot, do not use a bead mat that's sticky. Use it for your larger beads. Use one of these vellum mats for your smaller beads so you can scoop up a whole lot of beads. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. And they don't roll like you think. It will stop it. This is the same mat beaders use that do the bead weaving and so forth. Now, let me get out here my little toolbox. Yes, in case y'all haven't seen it, these are my beading needles. They're upside down to y'all. That's what they look like. Get them on Amazon. I linked to them on the video when I showed you that. So, I am going to thread this huge eye of this beading needle. And you don't need to pull down too much thread. And then you just sit there and you just pick up how many beads the pattern calls for. Alright? Just like that. Slide them down. Pull them on down onto your thread. Your eye is still open on that bead needle. Just pull it down out of the catch and take it out. That's how easy these things are to use. Now, you can also use floss threaders, but in your smaller beads, floss threaders will not go through those holes. So, fair warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. I gave you fair warning. Now, we are going to do this ring here, but I'm not going to do it per se her count. Okay, I want you all to do that pattern yourself. But I'm going to show you how to do these beads. Now you see all them beads I got? Now this ring takes 4 beads, right? So we pull them up, and when you wind your shuttle, you want to separate your beads. Put 4 on, do a couple of rounds, drop 4 more, okay? And what you want to do is space it just enough so that they don't run into each other. This is where how many stitches to an inch comes into play. Because an 11/0 seed bead is 1 double stitch. So, in order to do 4 beads, it's 1 inch per bead. So every 4 inches, you put on 4 more beads. Do you see what I'm saying now? You need to know your measurements. In beginner's class, Angie will teach you how to do a sample sheet. How many stitches per inch based on your tension per size thread. And you'll be able to count how much thread you need for each thing you're doing using that sample sheet. So it's a helpful tool that will help you in the future. But for class purposes, I'm just throwing the beads on. Alright? So that'll help you. But it's all based on your tension and how many double stitches per inch. And if you're working with beads, the best way to count it, every bead 1 inch. And that will give you enough gap between the sets to do what you need to do. That's in ankars, all right? So, let me get these beads down here. Now, we've got one bead that's going to be on the core thread, and it's going to slide up in there. We've got 3 beads that are going to be on a picot. All right, I am going to go up real quick because I got a question I want to ask you all. If you've got beads on the core thread, where do they go in relation to shuttle and ball or to shuttles? If it's on the core thread, where do you think that core thread's going to come from? Think about it before you answer. Anybody know? What about beads on that picot? Where would those beads need to be placed to get the beads on the picot? Which shuttle, Denise? Are you using shuttle and ball or 2 shuttles? What size thread to use? Jill's asking what size thread to use for beads. You have to match your thread to your beads. Okay? On the micro cord, okay, you want 11/aught. The larger the number, the smaller the bead. It can hold up to a 15/aught. All right? We're making a ring. So, where's them beads going to go? Just think about regular tatting. Got a lot of good answers. Would y'all like to know the answer? Okay. Beads on the rings go on the shuttle, 1 thread. Beads that go on chains go on your ball thread. Beads that go on the core go on shuttle 1. Okay, because you've got to pull it up from shuttle 1 to place it on that core. So, let's get into it. Now, here's what we're going to do. I've got 3 beads right there. Now, you want to leave in anchors a pretty long tail because you might want to add a bead in the center that's really large that fits the center of that ring. So with anchors, leave yourself a good tail because you're going to need it. All right? Wrap that thread. And what I do, I drop those beads down to my finger and wrap it in the loom. Once I get my loom set, I take them beads and slide it to the back so they're out of the way. So you see I got the 1 bead left on that thread because my core thread is right here. This is the core. Okay? And you will pull that up in there. So, let's do 3 double stitches, if we can. Now, we're going to come around, and we're going to put those 3 beads on that picot. Or 2 of those beads, sorry. Keep that 1 back there. And we're going to pull it in. Alright? And you want to slide that thread snug up against that last double stitch and come back in. Alright, so we've got 2 picot, or 2 beads on the picot. Now, we still got this bead back here. Here is this core thread. You want that bead to sit on this core thread. You see where I'm going? Watch. Now I got 3 double stitches. Slide it up. Come in, put in another double stitch. It's ending up on that picot, isn't it? See what it's doing? It's popping up on that picot. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see. These are the ones that I had in the loom. I don't care what you do. It's still going to end up on that picot. But you want it to end at the bottom. Slide that bead down and cat your stitch. And it will put the bead on the base. Alright? Now we're going to try that again. Yes, this is just what we're playing with. We're learning placement of those beads. We've got 3 beads we're going to put on the picot and 1 for the base. Alright, so let's go there. I'm going to do it close-up shot so you can see it. Drop that one back in there and put it on the shuttle. Wrap our hand, put them beads at the back. Let's go. We're going to put the first 3 up and 1 down. So let's tat 5 double stitches. 3, 4, and 5. Now, yes, part of the core thread's right there, right? There's your core. If you look at your stitches, there's your core. Now, we want those 3 beads, move that out of the way, to come around, sit up there. We want this bead to come down. Now watch what happens, and you're going to see what's on that piece that I was showing you. Put in a double stitch. See? Pull it in, and look what you've got. You've got 1 on the core and 3 on the picot. You see it? Missing the camera here. I'm trying to get close enough so you can see. Now I'm going to put in 5 stitches. Got 1 more to go, and we're going to close it. Get that out of the way. Get your fingers to work. Yeah, the fingernails has got to go, ladies. This is 3 weeks, and they have not been chopped. Close it. Pull it tight, and you're going to see what we've got. Right there. We've got 3 beads on the picot, 1 below. So when you wrap your hand for a ring, what goes on the picot goes on the loom. What goes on the core stays on your shuttle. Alright? Now, chains, because when you wrap your hand for a chain, guess what? It is the core thread. That is your core thread. So if you're working it on chains, you want it to come off the core thread. Alright? So you'd run them down there and just feed them up. Let me pull out just a little bit. You'd run them down here into your hold for your chain, and you'd feed your beads up on this core. Now, a chain. Let me get my other set up here. Because here I have a shuttle and ball thread. The ball, right here, ball thread. By the way, that's Elizabeth 611. It's called gold. The ball is going to hold all these beads. And we're going to pull up some beads down here and put them in our loom. All right? And what we're going to do, get everything situated. Working with beads is difficult at best. We're going to start this off with a chain. So what do you want to do? You grab your bulb pin, put it on. Okay? That will lock it in place. Let it get untwisted first. Get down there, George. Now watch. We're going to put in a double stitch. Going to do 5. 2, 3, 4, and I had a flying shuttle. And we're going to do number 5. Now, pull that bead up. Let's take up 3 beads. Okay? Guess what we're doing? We just created a 3-bead picot. Now, this is where you say, well, I wanted a bead down here. Where's it going to come from? I don't have any beads on there, do I? But if I did have beads on there, that's exactly where it would come from, to sit below. Anything going on this core thread has to come from shuttle 1. Picots, shuttle 2. Chains, shuttle 2, or ball thread. Everybody got that? Did I confuse everybody? Okay. Yeah, I know. He moved the camera last night, and I ain't used to it, so shoot me. Sorry about that, folks. I will do it again. Let me zoom out just a hair. That may be too far. Yeah, too far. I'm sorry. Don't mean to make anybody dizzy. Okay, let's go for it. All right, let me put a couple of more double stitches in, so we can get a pretty good gap between the two. Okay, we're going to take 3 beads from here. We're going to put a picot in. Slide them beads up. Picot going in. Snug those stitches up. Now I'm putting 2 double stitches in. Let me get it up here to where you all can see. You see how the beads sit on top of the chain just like your picot. Okay? Comes from our loom. Yeah, the loom. See? Loom. That's where those beads are coming from. Now, if you want a bead to come below, then you'd pull it from shuttle 1. This is shuttle 1. This is ball thread. Okay? If you want it on the core when working a ring, it comes from, happy dancer over here, shuttle 1. It goes on the picot, it goes on the loom. Chains are the same way. Rings and chains, it all is the same. But there's your beaded picot. You've got 3 beads on your picot. If you wanted a bead to come in down here, you would pull it from this shuttle. So, when you put your beads on the shuttle, you want to make sure you place them. Alright? So, for beginners, Allison, everybody will. Okay, for beginners, the best way to do this, 10 beads on your ball thread or your second shuttle. 10 beads on your shuttle 1 thread. That is the working thread. Okay? Let me come back up into face forward. All right. 10 beads here for your loom. 10 beads on shuttle 1. Once you do that, work you up just trial. Notice where those beads are coming from. Remember it, because you're going to need that in anchors. If it's on the picot, it comes from here, your loom hand. If it's on core, it comes from here, shuttle 1 hand or working shuttle. Chains all come from here, unless it goes on the core. Do you understand it now? Shuttle 1 is the continual core. Because most anchors work is done with 1 shuttle. Unless they're throwing in some chains. They use that for emphasis on chains. So everything's going to be on shuttle 1. Not all of it's going to go on shuttle 2. But when you wrap your hand, that's where the difference is. Picots comes from the loom hand. Beads on the core come from shuttle 1, or the only existing shuttle you've got. Told you you'd get it. Laura got it. Light bulb moment. I got it. That's why I say the loom is how you wrap your hand. If you're wrapping for a ring, it's a loom. If you're wrapping for a chain, it's a loom. If you're wrapping for a clooney, it's a loom. Because what you're doing is weaving. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, 1 shuttle means cut it off the ball. Just like this one. There's no ball attached. See? No ball attached. I got a bunch of beads on here sliding around, but no ball attached. But I want you, for homework, this is the easy homework. Okay? For homework, I want 20 beads strung on your thread. Okay? I want you to do a ring. I want you to put beads on a picot and beads on your cord. That's your easy homework, so that you can see where those beads are coming from and where they land when you do your tatting. Okay? That way you can see. Once you see it, it's going to go, wow, I got it. Do you know how long it took me to figure that out? My God, it was months, maybe even a year, because nobody bothered to tell you where to place those beads. They just said, string it on a shuttle. You can have a ball and a shuttle, Jackie. You don't have to just do rings. But I want you to see bead placement as you're tatting. Yes, most of your patterns that have beads in them, they will tell you where the bead is supposed to go. As in Karina's pattern. Y'all see this? Right here. That's on the core thread. And she tells you how many beads to put on in her instructions. Okay? Now, this little tiny bead right here between the two, That is the gaposis bead. That means you've got a bead between each ring, and it comes from the core. Yes, Laurel, all your patterns should have an indicator that tells you where the beads go and at what point. I know that Nina's does. That's a good hint, Jill. Jill says sometimes she dips the end of her thread in white glue, let it dry, cut the very end with a taper, then use it as my needle to load beads. All the beads. Yes, it should tell you all the beads, Arlene. You want 10 beads on for your second shuttle or your ball thread. If you don't, put 20 beads on a shuttle. Okay? I want 3 beaded picot with 1 at the base on the core. I want a ring. That is the easy homework. Okay. The not so easy. Tat this. If you can tat this, you're well on your way to ankars. Okay? Now we'll give back feedback on this homework to let you know where you may have boo-booed or what you didn't comprehend and walk you through it some more. You can load all the beads if you want, Arlene. I mean, this many in a jar, yeah, I'm saying okay. But when you get to this, nah, we don't want to load all them on one setting. I love beads too, though. Says everybody got it? Beads on the core, go on shuttle 1. Beads on the picot, go on ball thread or shuttle 2. You're welcome, Denise. These are things you're going to need to know and practice before we really get into ankars. Okay, because ankars is very technical. And if you learn it now, when we start doing ankars, you're going to say, whoa, light bulb moment. It's not as difficult as it sounds. Let me give you all a food for thought here. And think about this. When you look at a tatted piece, you're saying, oh my gosh, the techniques that are in there, I'll never be able to achieve them. Tell the truth. That's what you're thinking. But when you break those techniques down and you start doing them, you're saying, gosh, I was a fool. That's the easiest thing I've done. Hardest thing I ever had to learn in tatting was the flip. The techniques drove me away because I thought they were complicated. Jackie, it was mailed in with your class lesson. It'll also be down below in the description box. Okay? Yes, I will post that on the video. I will put down there. In reference to Nina, which beads are up or which are down, she puts, like, if she's got, in fact, we'll use that. She has dots relating if they're up or down. Nina uses dots, if memory serves me right. Now, I don't do benile. That is entirely too many beads for my brain. Yeah, I know. Jackie, the homework picture pattern came with your email. Okay, what's your mistake, Pam? Your diagram is different. What diagram? If you printed this off of my link, you should have it. Bye, Barb. I'll talk to you later. I'll call you tonight. So, Pam, this came out with your homework. Okay, I'll give you a call tomorrow then. Yeah, now I have to say, if you're going to do Beano, trust me, invest in a bead spinner. Because that is a lot more beads than tatting. But man, is it beautiful. Right, up from the ball. Jill says our beads up from the ball and down with the shuttle. You got it. It's sunk in. You hit it. If it's on the picots, it's on the second shuttle. Core threads, first shuttle always. The replay will go up later after it is processed on our YouTube channel. The 4 beads between the petals, are you talking these beads down here or these? Okay, beads from the shuttle are these 3 beads up here. Beads from the, beads from the ball on the picot are up here. This one here is from the shuttle 1. Okay, Barb. Okay, Laura, you said no, and then you said yes. Do you got it? Yeah, 3 beads up. What goes up? Picots. Core thread. What's it do? It stays down. Easy way to remember. Picots go up. Core stays down. You're welcome, Robin. Okay, let me see what you're talking about. Oh, that is to make it into an earring. On the back, this here, this is to make it into an earring, to make that piece small. You can go to Karina's website. Okay, it's Karina Mayfelt. And it's spelled Meyfedldt, excuse me. And the pattern is in the October 7th, 2014 archive location. Okay? Let me get that for you. As soon as my email quits popping up, click on that link. It will take you to this pattern. No, the beads are not in different places. These beads are on a picot. When you get to these, all 4 go on the picot. You're talking these beads right here. They all 4 go on the picot because they're not inset You see the blue? It's going right through. That's the bottom bead. If the bead's not on the blue line, that means it's on a picot. It's up. Right, it's a one shuttle pattern. Yeah, mine is different. I changed mine for what I wanted it for. Okay? This one here hasn't got the edging that mine has. I put that edging, the crown edging, I put that on myself. This is what you've got to do. All right? Yeah, mine is different. I changed it. See the blue line? Now see this blue line? That blue line is representing your core thread. Tatted stud earrings and ring pattern, not what we see in the video. Yes, it is. These these 4 beads that sit between the rings. I did not put those 4 beads between the rings. I used this as an example to show you how this one sits on the core and these 3 sit on the picot. Yes, make the stud earrings. That's what you're doing. This is the same pattern itself. I changed it up for what I needed it to do. Okay? But the rings and these are the same as in the pattern. The only difference is these 4 that sit on the picot. Okay? And that is your joining picot. I joined my picot. You see? The only difference is I didn't put the 4 beads here because I needed this different. Yes, I will provide the web address. And it's Karina Mayfeld. Let me get you just her website. The pattern is a bit different than this. I embellished this for what I needed it to be. And that's what you will do when you get further into beads with tatting. This was used to show you this little element right there. How these beads sit. That's all. It looks like it. You see? But it's not. But the rings are the same stitch count, and this is the same. I just eliminated the beads here. I added beads down here between the rings. The central element is worked separately. Okay? Yeah, we'll go over it more. What I want you to do, Jackie, is just do the 20 beads and make a ring. Know where those beads are going to land. If you pull it from the loom, it's going to land on the picot. If you pull it from your shuttle, it's going to land on core thread. Got it? I just want you to learn bead placement. That's why I gave you this as homework. That's why I did not go into these. I want you to learn bead placement. That central element is for the earring. Okay? When you get this, as Angie taught in beginner class, this thoroughly, all the way through. Okay? What I'm trying to get you to do is put on your thinking caps. Okay? Because NCARS doesn't have that many patterns out there. Every pattern that's out there came from someone's mind. You are on the forefront of NCARS. Okay? And I want you to put on your thinking caps. Learn where you put those beads. Learn where those beads land. Exactly, Arlene. Arlene says, this reminds me of where did the 1 come from in 1x in algebra? Same principle. Because if I give you the answers, are you going to remember that? No, you won't. But if you try it and you do it and take your time and focus on what you're doing, it sticks. You make a mistake and you have to back it out. It sticks. But if I give you the answers, you're not going to learn anything. So yeah, I do make you think. Okay? Because if you want to design something for you, for a special night out, you can think and know how to tat something up that is unusual and different. All right? Any more questions? Last call for questions. And we'll go more in depth on this next week. All right? But I want to see what you all can do on your own. This is basically your first experience. Bye, Teresa. Any more questions? Carol, you said yes. Exactly, Nanetta. I mean, she is missed in the tatting community so much. I hope she comes back. Yes, I will get a chance to look at it, but I've been busy sewing up some bags, ladies. I've had to cut out 15 bags. But I will give you some feedback on that, Laura. I will look at it as soon as class is over. Thank you, guys. Any more questions? Last call. Of course, Joy. All right, until next time, take care of each other, stay safe, be well, and happy tatting. Have a wonderful day today. See you later. Bye-bye.